Hi, everybody. It's Mark Johnson with Cross Country Mortgage. And today, I just wanted to take a minute and explain why it's still a good time to buy a house. Um, as you have heard on the news, I'm sure that Ukraine is, being invaded by Russia, at least in two, I guess, I don't know what you call them, counties or states or whatever they call that over there. But interest rates have actually gotten a little bit better because of that. And so the first thing that I want to do is I want to show you what is happening to homes. Today, the Case-Shiller report came out. Now, this is a report that takes one house in several different market areas and watches how it goes up and down in value. And so I wanted to take that and just show you that. So let me show you my screen here. And so you'll see that for the month of December, now December was the lowest rates. After December, rates started to go up. I mean, it wasn't the lowest of all time, but they were pretty good. And so you were still seeing an annual appreciation of homes right around 18%. It was like almost 1%. There. So it's still really strong. The housing demand is super strong. Look at annually in Phoenix, where my son lives. Home prices went up last month or in December, 32%, which is crazy. Tampa, 29%. And then is that Miami there, 27%. That's just crazy. Here in the Salt Lake market, it's right around 18 to 20%. And that still shows, even during the last 3 months, in the Salt Lake County, last week, there were about 416 or 17 homes available for sale. This week, it's gone down to like $367 as of today, I was told. So there's still not a lot of homes to buy here in Salt Lake County. And that's the way it is all over Utah and all over the country, is that there's still a very short supply of homes to buy, and interest rates are going up. Now, what does this mean for you? Well, I did kind of a graph here. I wanted to just do a rent versus own. And so I started with, the assumption that somebody is renting right now probably around $1,900, $1,800 to $1,900 a month for like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Maybe it has a garage, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but it doesn't really matter. And to get into a nice home, right now you're going to be looking somewhere between 425 and 475. So I thought I would take the higher end of this and say, okay, the house is going to cost you $475,000. How much is your payment going to be? And it's almost like it's $800 more per month in your monthly budget. And some people are saying, well, I can't afford that much. That is just a high amount. It used to be a lot smaller as far as a percentage of increase in monthly payments. But what you forget to look at is that this is there's 3 things that I want you to focus on when you're buying a house. First of all, it's a forced savings account. So what you're going to do here is you're going to look at the tax. Well, let's look at the principal paid first of all. On this particular home, you're going to see that, and I don't know why this is not working very good here. Let me just refresh it. So you're going to pay in principal. Maybe I need to change the screen here. So let me just move this screen over here. So you're going to pay a principal here, and that's not the screen. Interesting. Well, that's crazy. All right, let's try this again now. So you're going to pay a forced savings of $634 a month right there. For some reason, it's not highlighting, but usually it highlights it. And then you're going to have a tax benefit. And that's one of the things that people forget, is that if you're just in the 25% tax bracket, which is the lowest tax bracket, on a mortgage this size, you're going to have a $404 tax advantage. And so together, that's over $1,000, that you're going to save right there. So your net savings is $157, because this is the cost of your actual mortgage. And of course, this is your rent. Now, rents are going up somewhere between 3 to 10%. It depends on where you go. I just know that in one of the complexes that I have some friends that were renting in, that went up, $400 from $1,200 to $1,600 just, on their first year anniversary. So rents are going up very quickly. And what I wanted to show you here is this graph right here. So you're looking at, in 5 years, your rent, you're going to pay out $121,000 in rent, which that's a lot. If you take your rent times 12 times 60 months or 5 years, that's $121,000. Whereas you're going to save, as a first-time home buyer, you're going to pay down your principal $42,000. So that's like a forced savings account. And then if we look at appreciation, and just go to the more information here, is you're going to be able to look at this and say, well, how much is my appreciation going to be? Well, your total equity here, here's your real estate value, is in 5 years, you're probably going to be at $635,000. So your loan balance is going to be at $418,000. This is how much you paid in principal. And this is what your forced savings account, if you will, that's how much equity and paying down your principal is going to be, is $217,000 versus you're going to pay $121,000 in rent. So what I'm trying to show here is that over a lifetime, this is important for you to look at here. In 15 years, that the amount of equity you have is going to be somewhere around $837,000. Now, obviously, we don't know how long appreciation is going to be. The average has been right around like 6% over the last 20 years that I've been in the business. And it's just been in the last 3 or 4 years where we've had really fast and high appreciation of homes. So if you look at a 6% increase in values, you're still going to come out ahead. So anyway, no matter what happens in the market, and let me just show you what the market's doing today here. This is the 10-year treasuries, and you'll notice here for like 8 or 9 days here, interest rates just kept on going up and up, and then the last 3 days, they've kind of come down, and that's because of the threat of Russia invading the Ukraine. So, right now is a great time to lock in. Your interest rates somewhere going to be in the low 4s instead of the high 3s now, just because there's still a lot of upward pressure, as you can see here, on interest rates. But if rates, continue to come down a little bit, and we could see this, you might be able to lock something in below 4%. Anyway, that's my TCA Tuesday for today. If you have any questions about rent versus buy, please hit me up, DM me, or give me a call. I'll put the link here so you can log in and look at this a little bit closer. And have a great day. Thanks.